let's move to CJ Stroud here, who, I think last night we got off to a good start in the conversation around his play by essentially saying that, look, the kid clearly has some talent. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He seems to have a good attitude. I can't speak to his level of attention to detail in meetings and preparation, but he doesn't appear to me to be underprepared when he's out on the field. I think, though, that there are times that he looks like he's hesitating a little bit or maybe not processing the defense fast enough. I think he looks a little bit tentative to tuck it and run in certain situations. I know yesterday there was a play where, he had at least a 10-yard gain if he'd have kept the ball himself. Instead, as he rolls out to his right, he dumps it down for a gain of 5 or 6 to, I think it was Garrett Wilson, if I remember correctly. And I just wonder how much, even if it's subconscious, the shoulder thing, it's clearly bothering him. And look, he's not rolling out of the pocket thinking, okay, my shoulder hurts, what am I going to do? But when that's in your mind and you're trying to gut through an injury, I think there's some limitations there. Let's give him due credit. Through 3 games, he's thrown for almost 1,000 yards. He has more passing yards through 3 games than any quarterback in Ohio State history. Some of that is Ryan Day's offense and the nature of what college football's offense looks like. You're not going to see, some of the good quarterbacks of the past having thrown the ball as much as the Buckeyes have these last 10 years now. But CJ clearly has the ability to do that. Where it's a bit frustrating for me is there's something that doesn't feel right. I don't know how to really put my finger on it. And again, I'm not trying to start a quarterback controversy or to say that I don't think he can be the guy. Ryan Day clearly likes him. You can see there are certain instances why it's obvious that he's got this opportunity. But I guess I just look at this and say, in a world where you've got 2 other quarterbacks on the bench in Kyle McCord and Jack Miller, who are by all accounts ready to rock, one in Quinn Ewers, who has all of the hype and all the talent in the world. I don't know if Quinn is ready to compete at this level yet or not. He should be in high school still. But there are 2 and maybe 3 really, really good options behind CJ. I just feel like CJ won't back down from this, and I admire this about him. He probably understands that if he doesn't play because he's injured, it might be really difficult for him to win his job back. How challenging that is for the coaching staff to figure out where the line is between letting a guy be tough and play through it and progress versus, maybe not getting the most out of your offense. I don't know where to draw that line. But again, I just feel like there's been times where there's a little clunkiness. And before I let you run with this, Z, I also wonder if we're being fair in thinking about how we're measuring him, because, when you've got guys that just came before him that are quite literally a few of the best quarterbacks in the history of the program, there's a recency bias that your head can't get away from. You see what Justin Fields did. You see what Dwayne Haskins and JT Barrett did. You know what Braxton Miller's capability was when he was playing quarterback. These guys were elite. And it's just hard to see CJ Stroud in that light right now because it's just not all there. And maybe it could be, but it isn't yet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Brennan. And it comes back to the defensive line like we talked before. We Ohio State fans are accustomed to having 5-star dining, and right now it's a carry-out deal. And he's been really, really good in regards to like his mental progression. Yesterday, CJ was the first interception that I saw on film where he made a bad decision. The Rucker, on the up and over, he missed him on the crossing route there. Now Rucker could have flattened it out a little bit more, but he wanted to get behind that linebacker. Safety was sitting over the top. It wasn't a great decision for him to throw the football. He needs to have the ability to be able to make the decisions that are best for everybody that are on board. And CJ's going to fight through this because why? He's in a room with a lot of young guys as well. He's going to put in all the mental prep work that he can possibly put in to make sure he wins over his quarterback coach and his offensive coordinator and head coach. And when he does that, he doesn't want to be Wally Pipp. And I know that analogy for a lot of people nowadays. They look at who's Wally Pipp, the Lou Gehrig story. I mean, if you don't know that, younger guys, think of this: Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe was the first overall pick in the NFL draft, led a team to the Super Bowl, and then eventually had this Tom Brady guy come in and take over. And I'm not saying that Tom Brady's is one of these backup guys, but CJ understands the pressure of college football. It's win now and play now, whoever that hot hand is. And there are times in practice where you get reps with those 2s and 3s. And if those guys are the guys that have to have it, those are the guys that they're going to go and call upon on Saturday. And I have to imagine that CJ is doing everything right in the facility Monday through Friday. He's missing on some high throws, but like we said, he's 19 years old. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards in 3 weeks, which is a remarkable stat.
I think it's not 963, but
yeah,
very close to it. Yeah.
Is he the guy going forward the Buckeyes need? And Ohio State has missed before. I mean, we had a Heisman Trophy winner sitting in the quarterback room that had to transfer down to Baton Rouge to be able to go actually throw the football. So, and part of that was a product of the system he was in, and that's when you look at it, Ryan Day has a tremendous track record of developing and finding quarterbacks. He sees something very special in this young man. He's going to continue to ride with them, and he's not going to waste the opportunity to have this incredible receiving core. But going forward, it's important that CJ settles down a little bit more, and maybe there is an opportunity. And yesterday, I think Buckeye fans were kind of hoping for the Buckeyes to jump out early and kind of pull away in that game, to see somebody else under center, to see what's there. And the coaches see plenty of that throughout the week, and they're going to put the right guy under center. But right now, CJ seems to be the guy the coaches are going with. I'm not saying that he's not the right guy, but it's important that he has the ability to really build the confidence of everyone around him. And I think Ryan Day's most important thing for him at quarterback is to keep this guy confident. Let the 19-year-old play. Go with him in the ebb and flow of different things that happen. There were times in Justin Fields' career where early he missed throws as well. I think we were a little bit more forgiving at that point. The Buckeyes are expecting CJ Stroud to win now. He's 2-1 as a starter. He's 19 years old. He's thrown for 960 plus yards. He's only thrown a couple interceptions, and those couple interceptions he's thrown, only one of them has really been a true mental error. He's developing mentally, and then the patience for Buckeye fans, and they don't have it right now. And that's what happens when you log your room with a bunch of different freshmen to get in there. And then what happens is there's not the ability to move guys around as much as they probably could.
And I think it's a great point, because there's probably this panic meter with the fan base that it's so much different than what it is inside the building, frankly, where really it only matters. I think as fans, we are probably a bit more, ready and eager and willing to say, hey, put somebody else in. This doesn't look right, or this isn't working. Where, inside the building, you're right. They get a chance to see these guys practicing and their preparations and all that on a daily basis. So you have to trust your coaching staff, and let's give Ryan Day his credit. He's 25-3, and now 2+ years as a head coach, and 2 of those losses are in the college football playoff. It's not like the guy has no idea what he's doing, right? I mean, he is widely considered one of the best quarterback coaches in the country, if not the best. So sometimes you got to just trust him. But I also trust my eyes, and I know what I see.